Alrighty, welcome to the training today. Welcome aboard. Who's excited as you guys are hopping on here? Say hello, let me know you can hear me okay, that we're all set to go. Got a really exciting training today, like I do every week. I'm always excited about this. So on today's training, we're going to be going over a really common concern for coaches in the beginning. Actually, it doesn't matter if it's in the beginning. If you haven't started charging high ticket, this is a really common concern for coaches. Doesn't matter how long you've been a coach. If you're still not charging high ticket, this is the biggest common concern, and it's there for everyone because I had it too. And it was one of my biggest concerns when I started charging high ticket, when I made the decision to start charging high ticket. Alrighty, so as you're joining, say hello, let us all know you're here and that you're excited for the training. And if you're catching this on the replay, because I know some of you aren't ever able to make it to the training in real time, leave a comment on here letting me know you're grabbing the replay. Just put replay so I know that you still got this message and you're still able to benefit from the training today. Awesome. Good to see you on here. Hey, Tess. Hey, Emily. Awesome. So the topic for this training today is how much will people pay for your coaching? Like, how much will your clients actually pay in your niche? Because this is a really common belief amongst coaches in the health space, in the fitness space, that people won't pay for their health. People don't want to spend a lot of money on that. Or people won't pay for fitness or weight loss because they can just get that for free somewhere. And so a lot of times we believe that people won't pay us, or we have a fear that if we do raise our prices that people will judge us for putting our prices out there and it being premium, being high ticket. One of the biggest fears that keeps coaches from actually succeeding in high ticket. And the truth is, unless you are working with celebrities, movie stars, or multi-million dollar high society people out there that just aren't part of the regular population, right? Most likely our clients are just regular people just like us who don't have loads and loads of money sitting around, just loads of cash laying around that they can spend on this, right? So it's a big concern that we're going to put our prices out there and we're going to charge high ticket and our clients are going to judge us or think that it's too expensive. So I want to talk about this today and break down what's really happening. All right. So I hear that from coaches that belief that if they put their prices out there, people are going to judge them, or that they're just afraid of hearing the no. Like if you have a high ticket offer, people are going to reject you. And then what is that going to feel like to be rejected, right? So if you're looking to start a package that's 1K, 2K, 3K, 5K, right? You are, and you tell it to your client and you have a belief that they're just going to say, you know, it's too expensive, or you actually tell yourself, I don't believe anybody is going to buy this. I don't believe anybody will pay that much. And you're afraid they'll reject you or judge you for that price, right? I know for me, this was one of the biggest reasons I wouldn't make somebody an offer, because I was afraid to hear no if they thought it was too much money, or I was afraid of how uncomfortable I would be because I was nervous about the price. So this is such a huge, like, big piece of the puzzle that keeps coaches from even trying. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to take a look at this at its core, but let me know in the comments if you ever worry about that, if you ever worry about your prices just Maybe it is too expensive. Maybe everyone's going to say it's too expensive. Maybe nobody's going to want to pay that much. Maybe they can't pay that much. Maybe nobody can afford that. Let me know in the comments if that's something that you believe a lot or have ever just worried about before. Let me know. This is a big one for a lot of coaches. So if you're sitting there silently listening, going, this is totally me, just know there's a lot of coaches still in this space. We're going to talk about why that is, so that if you want to move out of it, if you want to take on a new perspective, you can. All right? So the first thing you want to ask yourself, when you notice you have a belief there, that's really hard for you to believe that anybody's ever going to pay even $1,000 for a coach. And that belief just feels really true for you. To your core, like in your chest, you're like, I really believe that. I don't believe anybody's going to pay even $1,000 for a coach. Notice that that belief is there and ask yourself, like Byron Katie, ask yourself, is that true? And how do I know that's true? Because a lot of times we decide things are true based on something that has been told to us in our past, something that we're just choosing to believe about money and abundance, or what people value. Or we're creating a belief based on something that we think we have found evidence for in our lives. Right? There is a reason why that belief feels very true to us if we take a look at it. So the first thing you want to ask yourself is this true? How do I know it's true? That people never pay high ticket. So if that was true, that means that there are no coaches out there who know how to sign clients consistently at high ticket prices. So just start getting curious about that. If that's true, that would mean that there aren't coaches out there who know how to do this. But can I also find evidence that there are people who know how to do this? And if there are, what does that leave me with? What do I do with this belief that people don't pay high ticket? Because a lot of times we just decide to believe this answer that people don't pay high ticket, but we've never investigated where the belief came from or whether we actually want to continue to believe that. So often we just dismiss the idea right away. We haven't even tried to offer high ticket coaching yet because we're just convinced they're going to say no. I know that person has no money. I know this person has no money. This person in my life has no money. None of them are going to pay. I know for sure nobody's going to pay high ticket. Do you see how easy it is to go there? So if we strip it back, if we go all the way back to where the fear is coming from of putting ourselves out there, facing rejection, facing judgment, facing someone saying no, because at the root of it, that's the worst thing that's going to happen if you decide to go all in on being a high-ticket health coach or a high-ticket fitness coach. The worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to get rejected by somebody, right? But as human beings, that's one of our biggest fears. Like, we fear rejection, we fear judgment, we fear not being accepted, we fear being cast out and not being included in the fold. So to us, that's like social death. If somebody judges us or rejects us, we put ourselves out there, right? So this is why it's so important to question everything you believe. Is this coming from fear of rejection? Am I afraid to put myself out there? Do I know this is true, that nobody pays high ticket? And ask yourself where that evidence is coming from. What evidence have you collected along the way that you think is proving this? Right? Have you been rejected before? Did someone say no to you a couple times? Were they even the right person for a high ticket offer? Does that mean that there's no right people for a high ticket offer because you talked to some that weren't? Right? You can start questioning your brain and asking your brain, is this true? The second thing you want to look into, once you question your brain and say, okay, is this true? Okay, everybody do that. If you are on this training and you want to take a look at your beliefs around, your fears around charging high ticket and getting rejected, and if you believe people will actually pay high ticket, is this true? Where am I getting my evidence from this belief? And number two, now that we're getting curious about the belief and whether we want to keep it or get rid of it, how are we testing this? How are we testing our high ticket price point to see if people in our niche will pay high ticket? Because the other thing that people do, aside from not even trying because they're just so convinced nobody will pay, right? Let me just slap up a $500 program on my website and maybe someone will buy that because nobody's going to pay high ticket, right? The second thing we're doing, besides not even trying, is maybe we are trying, but we are dabbling. You know what I mean by dabbling? Where you're just kind of testing the waters in this pool of like high ticket coaching, right? Just kind of sticking your toes in. Is this real? Can I really do this? Let me just put a toe in. Just test the temperature here. And what happens when you do that? You're trying out high ticket pricing by not believing that anybody would buy that. You're trying out a high ticket offer, but subconsciously you're like, ooh, it's $1,000. I can totally help you. This is going to be $2,000. Do you think that your niche, your clients in your niche are going to be able to feel that energy from you? When you are sticking your toe in the water, you're going to just decide to raise your price. And listen, I'm not saying that you should just go out and raise your price tonight if you don't know how to put together a message or put together a high ticket offer or how to position that, or you have no strategy behind it, right? I'm not saying go just start telling everybody to work with you and it's thousands of dollars, right? There is a process and a skill to that. So if you're not really sure how to do it, you're not really trained in the world of high ticket and how to put together a high value offer, and you just test. Let me just tell a couple people at this $2,000 offer. What's going to happen when you do that? And you're coming into it with this belief that this is probably like crazy that I'm even charging this, right? But here it is. Do you want it? They're going to say no. Your clients are going to say no, right? Because you're not even certain if they should do it, right? But then your brain collects more evidence that people don't pay high ticket in your niche. And so do you see how that creates a self-fulfilling loop for you? And the more that you do that and the longer you stay in that space, the stronger that belief gets rooted into you because it's practiced now. And you've seen so much evidence and you've told yourself that story so many times. So what is important then? If you want to get into high ticket and you can't just dabble and like stick a toe in the water and think it's crazy and not think anyone's ever going to buy it, what do you need to actually do? Well, you need to actually commit. You need to actually commit to your high ticket offer. That comes from being decided. So when you decide that the value of the transformation that your client will have from investing in themselves is so worth it that you are going to actually require them to invest in themselves at a high ticket level, you're no longer saying, maybe I'll try it, and if someone says no, I'll go back to this other thing, right? Because what that is doing is being decided and then undeciding. Being decided and then undeciding. So you need to commit and believe in your core the value of this transformation for your clients. And maybe you need to spend some time really digging into that value. Because if you come in with this decided but kind of undecided energy, you're committed to doing this for now, but then if it doesn't work, you might go back to, putting some lower ticket offers on your website. That uncertainty, that uncertain energy of whether they should even do it will be felt by your clients subconsciously 100% of the time. And so it doesn't matter if you have the best offer. It doesn't matter if you are literally saving lives. You are saving people's lives who maybe didn't even have another 5 years if they didn't make a lifestyle change. It doesn't matter if you have the best positioning and the best offer and you're putting it in front of the person who needs it most on this planet right now. If you're in your own head and you're believing that you can't charge high ticket, that person will never buy. And then what happens to them? Right? They'll feel that uncertainty from you when they need the belief the most. They'll walk away not buying, not investing in themselves, and then what happens to your client? Because your client needs to borrow that certainty in order to buy. That's part of being an amazing coach, is being able to give that to your client. So if you're nervous about the investment and they're nervous about the investment and you're just nervous together with them, you're in the nervous energy with them about them investing in themselves, are they ever going to buy? No, of course they wouldn't. Of course they're not going to buy. So does that mean that people don't pay high ticket? Or is that a reflection of your internal beliefs about the world that are actually showing up in your life around you? Are you creating that evidence over and over and over and over again? Leave me a comment if this is really resonating with you. If you totally see times in your life where you have had that belief, and it might not even be about something like, it might not be your price point, but for a lot of us it is. But sometime in your life where you have lacked belief in something and gone out and proven yourself right. I knew I was right. I knew that was too good to be true. I knew I couldn't believe that that was possible. We do this all the time in so many areas, but when it comes to high ticket and putting a price on our coaching, we get so caught up in our own drama about it that we can't even see what we're doing, that we're creating this self-fulfilling prophecy. The third thing that I notice coaches do when they want to get into high ticket and they know they should be, and they know it's in the best interest of their client, like we've talked about before, the third thing that I see coaches do is saying, I'll believe it when I see it. Let me go sign some clients. Let me go sign a few high-ticket clients, and then I'll really believe that this is the real deal. Like, this is really works. This is doable. So this is something I hear clients say a lot, having this disbelief around pricing. I'll believe it once it works, once I sign a few clients who actually pay that. So they're going into it like, yeah, let me test this out, see if this is the real thing, seeing if I can charge that much. And then they try it a few times, and guess what happens? They get a few no's in the beginning, especially if you don't have a strategy behind what you're doing. And then their brain takes that evidence, files it away, says, see, I knew it. People can't afford this. This is not affordable to most people. Most people can't afford this. I knew people don't pay that much for their health. I knew people aren't willing to pay for fitness that much. Do you see how your brain goes there? If you're going out in disbelief and then people say no, you're immediately going to prove yourself right. And if you're waiting for the evidence that people will pay you to start believing, you're never going to sign a client and you're never going to have that belief. So really there's a variety of things that could be happening with your evidence, right? Number one, one of the things that could be wrong about the data that your brain is evaluating and storing away as evidence is maybe the person you were talking to just wasn't the right fit for your offer, right? Maybe they didn't need your high ticket offer and you're just talking to the wrong people because you're relying on maybe referrals that aren't the right fit, or you're just waiting for someone to walk into the gym and hoping they're the right fit for your high ticket offer. Are you talking to the right person? And number two, did you have a clear and compelling message? Did they have the 100% clarity and certainty that you're the one to help them and they know why they need you? Did they see that first before they even knew the price? And did you have a strategy to do that? And the third thing that you want to evaluate in your data is, was I even believing in the value of my offer when I offered it? Did I actually believe they should do this and they should totally drop $2,000 on this? Do I have that rock solid belief in the worth of this offer for them? For them, not for me, the worth for them if they do this. All of these factors play a role in if you create the result of somebody paying high ticket in your niche for your coaching. Notice how it doesn't have anything else to do with what other people are doing, what other prices people are charging. If someone is able to charge $3,000, if someone is only charging $300, none of this has anything to do with what anybody else is doing. Why? Because somebody else having belief and certainty in their offer and selling it for $3,000 doesn't mean that you are showing up that way when you are making your own offers, or that you even have the same strategy and messaging of your offer that they do. So do you have all of those pieces in play? What happens is most people, as soon as they hear about high ticket, they're interested. They love the idea of it. They think it sounds great. But then you'll notice half of them, they'll just, won't even get started. They won't even try because they can't get past their beliefs that are blocking them. The belief that anybody is succeeding in this. So right out the gate, they're just taking themselves out of the game. They quit before they even start, right? That's why we're spending so much time talking about belief, because that's half of you coaches. They just don't start. They don't do it. Then you'll get some coaches that love the idea of high ticket coaching, and it sounds amazing, and they totally make sense. Okay, let's just dabble in it. Let's just see if it would work for me, right? Let me just dabble in it. And then what happens? They try a few times, tell a few people, make a few offers, and then hear a few no's in the beginning and quit. They give up. They don't stay in the game long enough. They don't reinforce their own belief that people will pay. So that's why it's important to be 100% committed to the value of your program and committed to the belief that people will pay. Because you need to be more committed to your own belief to stay in the game long enough to get past those first a few initial no's, to be able to handle rejection. You're going to have a lot of rejection in this game of entrepreneurship. But you have to be committed to your own belief, what you are intentionally going to choose to believe. That's why the majority of coaches out there trying to be successful, most of those coaches fail because they quit before they even really get started. Because they're waiting to sign clients to believe that they will sign clients, that people will pay. So what you really need is a strategy, and you need intentional belief, right? The right strategy and intentional belief. That's your winning combination, my friends. Be willing to be a student and learn. You're only responsible for holding the belief every day and showing up as the student willing to learn. Imagine wanting to be good at organic chemistry for some reason. Any chemistry lovers out there? I can't imagine. But imagine you want to be good at organic chemistry or calculus, and just picking up a quiz from your friend's chem class. just to see if it's doable, right? Just gonna test the waters on this whole chem thing. And you look at the quiz and you try to start filling it out, and you're going through and trying to figure out the strategy of all of it, see if you can actually do it and create the result of finishing this quiz. And like actually solve for these formulas on here. And then you pick it up, you try filling it out, and you bomb it because nobody's taught you organic chemistry before. Your brain's not going to say, oh, I guess this is just evidence that nobody knows organic chemistry. Like, nobody ever figures that out. Nobody can do that. No, of course. Why? Because your brain already believes there's people out there succeeding at organic chemistry. There's people out there getting A's, and it's just their jam, right? But when it comes to deciding to start a business and money gets involved and our drama and our brains gets involved, we start to just believe it's not going to happen for us. So if you peel that back and you logically ask yourself, is that true? Behind that belief is that fear of being rejected, that fear of not actually being able to sell this. Because you know there's people out there doing it every day. And there's clients out there like changing their lives because they're investing in a high-ticket coach to help them change their life. So it's not that you don't have the ability to learn organic chemistry, you just don't have the strategy. You're offering it to the wrong fit, or you don't have that intentional belief. These are the factors. But our brains want to make it about the other evidence that we've collected along the way. That just feels so much more true. Like, people just aren't going to pay high ticket. Notice how your brain wants to do that to you. And that's why we talk about these things so often in OCI. Having belief in your offer. Knowing how to find the right fits. And this means not forcing or manipulating people who aren't even interested. On to the next. That's not what we're here for. We are committed to serving our clients who are looking for a solution to this exact problem that our high-ticket offer solves. So having a specific strategy to put together a high-ticket offer and communicate that so you're not guessing on what to say or how to say it, right? This is what the coaches who get paid high-ticket understand. And then you go out and you take all of the action, and then you have a question along the way, and then you slip up along the way. No problem. That's what we're there for. We pick you back up so that you're better the next time. This is the secret, my friends. 90% of our clients come in and they raise their prices. And it's because they're implementing these things we're talking about today. That's why I'm sharing them with you. Just like Eliza, you guys heard from last week, right? She came into OCI discounting her prices. They were getting lower and lower, right? I think she was charging $750. That you'd have to go back and listen. I think she said $750 was where she started out. Now she's over doubled that. And that went in and made $8K in her first 4 weeks. And now she has a 6-figure business, okay? This is the formula. But if she had stayed in the belief of like, people, I have to go down. Like, people aren't even paying $750. I'm going to have to go to $500. Then that she would prove herself true, and that would continue to be true, and she'd find evidence of that today. Same thing for Kristen. You guys have heard from Kristen before. Raised her prices when she came into OCI as well. She's now over $3K just for a package with her for 3 months. Last month in September, she finished out September, $30K month. $30K month. So she can go out and find evidence that people don't pay high ticket, or she can choose to commit to the belief that her clients are out there, and the ones that want to make a transformation and have a reason to want to change bad enough will pay, and they will change their lives. So ask yourself, do an evaluation. Are you surrounding yourself with people who actually build that belief inside of you? Are you surrounding yourself with people who remind you that you can do this and build that belief and that certainty? Are you surrounding yourself with people who just say, no, people don't ever pay for the fitness? It'll never work. Do you remember your cousin Jill? She tried to be a personal trainer. She's not making anything. It'll just never work. I don't know why you're trying that. Or I tried it and it didn't work. That's the equivalent of someone saying, I tried Facebook ads for 3 days and I didn't get a client, and so Facebook ads don't work. Right? What are you finding evidence of, and what are you choosing to believe? Are you choosing intentionally what you want to believe and going out and creating that like everyone else who builds high-ticket businesses? Right? So if you're going to be willing to go all in on your belief intentionally, before you've created it, before you've signed your first high-ticket client, you are committed to that belief. It's done energy. And decide to raise your prices and go all in on creating a successful business, your environment is everything for your belief. Your environment is everything for holding that belief. This is the biggest part. Choosing to believe intentionally. Only you can choose that. Nobody else can make that decision for you to believe. So ask yourself, if you're here like, I have never signed a high-ticket client before, I know I'm not supposed to be in that energy of I'll believe it when I do it, because I'll never do it if I'm not believing. What can you choose to intentionally believe today? When you're out there making an offer to someone, what can you choose to believe? Are you focusing the whole time on they don't have money, they're struggling, they're definitely going to say this is too much? What can you choose to find evidence of? What can you choose to believe in that moment? Right? Can you believe that they're meant to be here today talking to me on the phone today for a reason? Can you believe that they have the power to transform and that is available to them as soon as they choose it? Do you believe in their ability to be successful as soon as they commit? Maybe they just need someone to give them a big enough reason to believe. What can you focus on believing? What can you focus on to stay in that belief energy instead of disbelief? Disbelief energy. Whichever one you're in, you will find evidence of and create more of in your life. Ask yourself, what happens to this person if they don't get help? If they've been stuck in this pattern for years and years and years, and they get off the phone with you and you don't make them an offer because you think they're going to say no, or they're not going to be able to afford it, or you're just afraid they're going to say no or judge you or reject you, what happens to them? What happens to them if you rob them of the opportunity to give themselves the gift of investing in themselves? So in order to cultivate belief intentionally, you have to be intentional about going out, collecting evidence of that new belief, collecting evidence and looking around you and everywhere you look, intentionally seeing that the world needs your offer, that the world is dying to invest in a coach to change their life. Collecting evidence wherever you go that they want to change so badly. Collect evidence about why they are meant to be here right now and how important this is to them. Why they're even talking to you about this problem if it wasn't important. Answer these questions. Ask yourself why it's true that this is so important to them. Find evidence of that. You have to be so dedicated and so 100% all in to growing that belief muscle every day. Belief is a scale. We've talked about the belief scale, that it doesn't grow unless you are intentional about growing it. That's a muscle, the belief muscle. So when you look for evidence that it's true, you won't give up on your first call or your second call, your third call when the client says they can't afford it, or they don't say yes right away, because you are only committed to the belief that your clients are out there right now and that they need you right now. And if someone were to come along and wave a giant flag in the air, letting them know, hey, I can help you over here, they would gladly run over there and invest into that coaching. That's what you need to be committed to. And like I said, most of our clients didn't come in charging high tickets. They didn't already have this belief that, oh, I've been charging high ticket for years because everybody pays high ticket. They didn't believe they could do it at first either, but they were committed to going all in on believing intentionally, right? And then once they get in and they're surrounded by the environment of all the other coaches, all of them charging high ticket and serving their clients at the highest level and sharing wins and sharing messages from their clients about how happy they are that they made them that offer. And now you've got a whole team of support behind you. And not just me, but everyone here on the team at OCI, all of the coaches supporting you through believing success becomes inevitable. Do you see that? It's just a formula. It's just an equation. Because you have so many people in your corner on your team supporting you in making this transition, right? To make that change, to charge higher prices that you've never charged before. Be willing to get uncomfortable because you're more committed to the belief that your clients need this. And eventually you look back on where you started and now your high ticket offer is just normal. That's your offer. People sign up for it every week. Now you're signing a client a week, 2 clients a week, 3 clients a week, every week consistently. That's your new normal. The real reason that that's not happening and people aren't paying high ticket is only because of the story you're telling yourself. You're telling yourself the story more often that people won't pay high ticket. That's it. So stay committed to that belief. This is what your clients need to transform. And there's going to be times where you hear a lot of no's all in a row. But you get to choose if you make that mean anything. Don't make that mean anything. Stay committed to keep learning and keep getting better and be willing to be bad. Be willing to really just not be good on your first few calls, on your first few offers. Hear some no's. Be willing to do that. You have to be willing to do that, and eventually you will break through. And every single week, you're going to start signing those clients. If you have a $2,500 offer and you sign 1 client a week every single week, consistently, that's $10,000 per month, right there. And you only need 4 clients who are committed to the belief of changing their life, who are committed to their transformation. You can do this. You can charge high ticket. So if you want to learn from the team at OCI to help you do that, I want to invite you to schedule time to talk with us. Talk with us about your niche. Talk with us about your fears. And we're going to ask you, are you willing to let that belief stand in the way of you creating this? Because if the answer is yes, you are your own limiting factor. Are you willing to go all in and be more committed to believing intentionally that there are clients out there who are looking for your help right now, who actually are willing to pay high ticket? Maybe you just have to be willing to commit to the belief that there's 4 clients out there on this planet that are willing. How would that change your life and theirs if you had 4 high ticket clients and you were serving them at the highest level? You can do this. So if you want to talk with us at OCI and get help with your offer, if you feel like it's all organic chemistry and you don't have a strategy, you don't know how to put together an offer, and you can't just raise your rates tomorrow because you don't even know how to put that offer together and how to say it, and you just be winging it, you don't have the strategy in place, but you're committed to the belief that this is doable, let us talk with you. We'll talk about your business. We'll talk about where you're at. We'll talk about the support systems you have in place. See if you need a support system, and we'll see where you're at. So go into the comments if you're on here right now and type paid in the comments so we know to reach out to you, chat with you about your business. Comment paid in the comments. P-A-I-D. Paid. Because we're in that done energy. All right? And we'll know to reach out to you. Or if you want to just go to the link, go to ValerieElher.com/coaching. to book yourself in for a time that way. ValerieElher.com/coaching. Alrighty, my friends, it's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you guys today. Hope you all have an amazing week. Talk to you all next week. Bye-bye.